The sun's out again today, which is nice after the few days of rain, huh? And with that in mind, what did I read today? More about criminals using drones, I suppose. How about this one? This one here says, as border crossings continue to drop, smugglers are beefing up their tactics with drones. Apparently that's still a big issue in terms of, I guess, illegal border crossings in various countries. It says, as border crossings continue to drop to the lowest figures of the entire Biden administration, smugglers are pulling out all the stops to evade border patrol agents whose tactics have become increasingly more cutting edge. One strategy has been to divert crossings from Texas and California to Arizona, where despite the treacherous terrains, offers a more secluded area to avoid detention. Another one, however, has been to beef up their technology, as smugglers are now allegedly using drones to help transport immigrants through the border, according to KII-TV News. Although by the sounds of it, they're making it sound like the drones are actually flying them to the actual destination, but I believe they're just using it to monitor it. It says, guideless groups, they use the drones to keep an eye on where agents are patrolling and also areas of advantage for them, said Border Patrol's Public Affairs Officers Agent Christina Smallwood. Areas that are open, and what that does is they are able to guide with a cell phone and guide one group from one area to another all the way to a pickup point. The use of drones at the border has been common practice for a while, with border security beginning a program in January 2023 aimed at reducing the need for large troop deployments to the border and future operational costs. By June, authorities claimed to have 32 teams, including 74 pilots, patrolling the southern border. I would imagine with this, it would be more useful to have one of those drone-in-a-box solutions, kind of like with the story and stuff yesterday. In early September, embattled U.S. Rep. Henry Sellier also reported that the state's current Aerostat program could be acquiring up to a dozen newer models of surveillance blimp systems that can be used along the entire border. I guess that's another option as opposed to using drones, where this stuff could actually stay floating in the air for a while without the extreme concerns of things like power and all that. But at the same time, it just shows you there are criminals using it. They're not going to obey, quote, laws. You just gotta find ways to deal with it, correct? And actually a quick story I read in relation to a blimp, since it was mentioned here. Look at this, where apparently there was a sports blimp of sort that was supposed to be used, I guess, for advertising or something. And for whatever reason, it just started to go slowly into all the neighborhoods, and yep, you would imagine what would happen next. It basically crashed. Like this, a sports team blimp crashes into the neighborhood ahead of loss. Nothing adds gravitas to a major sports event like a blimp casually patrolling the skies around the stadium. A soccer club's blimp slowly crashed into a residential neighborhood in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Wednesday. Thankfully, only one person was injured in the slow-motion disaster that caused people to jog for their lives. I mean, what could you do in an event of a blimp like this that's falling? Would you actually launch something in the air to try to swing it back and take it back out in the air? A drone, for example? Yeah, at the same time, it just shows you there's so many, quote, aviation-related disasters. I don't think people would be treating this as a way to say, okay, that's it, ban all blimps from the airspace now, correct? Although from going to the air, how about, I guess, the sea? And this was kind of interesting, where apparently Coca-Cola is partnering with a company to use a drone to clean up, I guess, waste around the water. This one says the Coca-Cola Company Canada partners with Pollution Probe to pioneer drone technology for Great Lakes plastic cleanup. Today, the Coca-Cola Company in Canada is announcing a partnership with the Canadian not-for-profit Pollution Probe on its Great Lakes plastic cleanup initiative, the largest initiative of its kind in North America. As part of its partnership, the Coca-Cola Company is sponsoring a new remote-controlled mobile waste collector called a Pixie drone that will help Pollution Probe collect floating debris, including plastic, flowing into Great Lakes. The Coca-Cola Company is supporting the piloting of technology which will help remove plastic and other debris found in the Great Lakes, the largest freshwater system in the world. The drone was tested on the Lake Simcoe along the waterfront in Barrie, Ontario, and will later be used at other Great Lakes plastic cleanup locations across the Great Lakes region starting spring of 2025. So if they're partnering with them, is this kind of like a sponsorship thing where you're gonna see this, quote, Coca-Cola branded drone going across the sea? I wouldn't doubt that. At the same time, I guess it's kind of good overall, right? If companies are using their money to try to help in these ways. And speaking of Coca-Cola, actually, while this is a good deed here, apparently in places, I believe in the US, there's some kind of controversy where there's these machines that they have out that you could input text messages, for example, whatever you want to say, and personalize the Coke can. But apparently it's stopping people from entering certain words. Now, you would think initially it would be, for example, maybe a swear word. But from what I gather from what's being shown online, for example, one example is religion, where if you enter, for example, the name Jesus, the machine will not allow you to do it. But for everything else, for example, including things like Satan, apparently it would. So you can see like the videos like this one, for example, that's going around at first.
So at the Coke store, you can personalize a message. You can put Allah loves you. Let me see, let's just try it out. Buddha loves you. But you cannot even type in the word Jesus. We cannot allow this text on the can. Even if I put, let's see, Satan.
Oh no, bro.
Hold on. Satan loves you. You can put that. But when you type in this word, you can't even type the word in. That's crazy.
Isn't that kind of suspicious? It's a little too coincidental, huh? And apparently this goes beyond just these types of, I guess, religious words. Apparently it has to do with politics as well, where if you enter in certain people's names, it'll allow you to do it, whereas other people, for some reason, it just doesn't allow you to do it. So that's kind of crazy if this is true. What would you think of that? And there's people, for example, saying boycott the company and all that. All right, see you guys later.